As I record this, Major League Baseball's lockout still very much going. It's not over by any means, but it does sound like both sides have agreed to a brand new 12-team playoff format starting with the 2022 season. So immediately I've got questions, and then in a second I've actually got some suggestions. Number one thing on my mind, are there still enough benefits for the division winners? In the American and National League, you've got the West, the Central, the East. Now inviting more teams to the postseason dance, how do you still make it lucrative to win the division or have the best record in the American or National League? What is the true benefit of being on top after the regular season? How does that play out and pay off for you in the playoffs with two more teams? Quite honestly, I don't necessarily know. The other thing I don't know about, but I certainly hope doesn't happen, is that any team has a greater extended layoff than they should. For example, if you are, say, a division winner and you get a first-round bye, but two other teams need to play a best-of-3 series, are you going to wait 4, 5, or 6+ days to start your postseason from the regular season? An extended layoff before the playoff sounds like a huge disadvantage, especially in a sport like baseball. I know it's kind of counterintuitive. You would think rest would be better, but these players are creatures of habit. They're out there every day. That's the pace. That's the nature of baseball. And then you're going to shut down for 4, 5, 6 days after you've had all that success and then try and start it back up. Just doesn't seem fair. I hope that extended layoffs, if possible, could be eliminated. I'm just not sure how that works, starting with an even amount of teams, then going to an odd amount of teams in the playoffs. I'll explain that in just a second. The other thing that is crucial to me, and I don't even know if this is possible or what the format exactly would be or how they'd work around this, because it did happen when they expanded the playoffs for the 2020 season. The Houston Astros, mind you, it was a 60-game season, but they made the playoffs with a losing record. That can't happen after 162 games. I hope they write that in there as a rule. And I don't even, again, know if it's logistically possible, but it should never happen in baseball that a team with a losing record gets into the postseason as far as you expand it. I don't care if it's 10, 12, 14, 24 teams in the playoffs. However you want to do it, I'm kind of okay with that, with expanding it so long as you never, ever, ever have a team with a losing record in a postseason spot. And then the other question, this is last, but it's definitely not least, the 12-team format. So there's the whole even to odd thing. For example, if you bracket this all out, right, you have 12 total teams. You've got 6 in each league. So after those 3 series are done, you're left with 3 winners. Then what do? You don't have an even amount. You can't go from 8 to 4 to 2. Think about March Madness, the bracket, how it works. You have to have even numbers so you can narrow it down to just 1. I don't know what they're going to do with this. I hope they've got a plan. They must, right? They're not just thinking, hey, we'll invite a dozen. We'll figure out the format later. They must have some ideas with this. I just don't exactly know what they are. But on that note, my suggestion is this. All series. Now, I say best of 5 here. I guess it could be best of 3 in a first-round situation, but that might be too quick. All I am saying is that no best of 7 until the World Series. If you want to keep the World Series a best of 7, I highly encourage that. But when all season long do you ever see 2 teams play 7 games against each other in a row? You just don't. So I think 5 is plenty to decide a winner of a series, but I would be okay with having 3 here or there if we're really going to be short on time and need to make some ground. So best of 5s until the World Series, but here's the big part of this. I'd like to see the top record in each league choose their first round opponent. So if you have the best record in the American League, you get to say, we want those guys for round 1. And then the team with the next best record says, okay, well, since we're up, we would like those guys for our first round opponent. Now, there's 4 teams spoken for right there. The other 2 remaining would face each other. Better team or better record team would have home field advantage to start. So I like the calling out opponents thing. Pick your battle is how I have it here on the screen. I really feel like in a time and a place where Major League Baseball is going through some popularity stuff, some identity stuff, this would liven up the atmosphere. And this is not, hey, you know what? This is not trash talk. It doesn't have to be like that. But when you know a really good team picked their opponent, when that team were to get upset by the opponent they chose, just think about what that would do for baseball, the energy that would bring to this sport in the postseason, which could quite honestly use it a little bit. So those are my questions and suggestions for a 12-team playoff format starting in 2022. But hey, let me know what you think in the comments section below.